Imagine this. You're sitting in a room full of people, and without realizing it, you're being manipulated. Maybe it's your boss steering you toward a decision that only benefits them, a friend subtly making you feel guilty, or a colleague trying to outshine you. The scary part? You don't even notice. Why? Because human nature is predictable, and those who understand its laws hold immense power over others. Welcome to today's episode, where we dive deep into the laws of human nature by Robert Greene, a book that unveils the hidden forces driving people's behaviors, desires, and decisions. By the end of this video, you'll never see people the same way again. You'll understand their motives, decode their actions, and, most importantly, protect yourself from manipulation while mastering the art of influence. Let's begin. Law 1. Master your emotional self. The law of irrationality. You may think you're in control of your decisions, but in reality, your emotions dictate most of your actions. Irrationality is not an exception. It is the norm. People make decisions based on their moods, biases, and deep-seated fears rather than logic. The more emotionally reactive you are, the easier it is for others to manipulate you. To master this law, you must develop self-awareness and cultivate the ability to detach yourself from emotions when making decisions. How to apply this law? Recognize your emotional triggers. What makes you angry? Anxious? Impulsive? Track your emotional reactions and analyze their root causes. Pause before reacting. When faced with a situation that triggers strong emotions, avoid immediate reactions. Take a step back, breathe, and analyze the situation rationally. Develop a rational mindset. Train yourself to approach problems like a scientist, gather facts, analyze patterns, and think critically before making a decision. Beware of emotional manipulation. Salespeople, politicians, and social influencers often use emotions to sway people. When exposed to persuasive arguments, ask yourself, am I reacting emotionally or logically? By mastering this law, you gain control over your decisions and prevent yourself from falling into emotional traps set by others. Law 2. Transform self-love into empathy. The law of narcissism. Everyone has narcissistic tendencies, some more than others. The problem arises when narcissism becomes extreme, turning into self-obsession, entitlement, and manipulation. Deep narcissists crave admiration, lack empathy, and use others for their personal gain. However, not all narcissism is bad. When properly harnessed, it can fuel confidence and ambition. How to apply this law? Identify narcissists around you. They often display excessive confidence, seek attention, and subtly manipulate others. Disarm them by feeding their ego strategically. Instead of challenging a narcissist head-on, subtly stroke their ego while protecting your own interests. Develop empathetic intelligence. Shift the focus away from yourself and truly listen to others. Try to see the world through their perspective. Practice healthy narcissism. Build self-confidence without needing external validation. Acknowledge your strengths while remaining humble and open to growth. By understanding this law, you become adept at dealing with narcissists while transforming your own self-love into empathy and influence. Law 3. See through people's masks. The law of role-playing. People rarely present their true selves to the world. Instead, they wear masks to fit into society, manipulate situations, and hide their vulnerabilities. The more charming and polished someone appears, the more likely they are concealing something. How to apply this law? Observe micro-expressions. True emotions leak out in subtle facial expressions, fleeting looks, and slight changes in voice tone. Listen more, talk less. The more you let people talk, the more they reveal about themselves. Ask thoughtful questions and pay attention to their reactions. Test their character over time. Don't trust words alone. Actions over time reveal who someone truly is. Be aware of your own masks. We all play roles in different settings. Strive to be more authentic, but also use strategic role-playing to navigate social dynamics. By applying this law, you become skilled at detecting deception and understanding people beyond their surface personalities. Law 4. Determine the strength of people's character. The law of compulsive behavior. A person's character is not defined by their words, but by their repeated actions. People follow patterns of behavior that stem from childhood conditioning, fears, and desires. If you ignore these patterns, you risk misjudging people and suffering the consequences. How to apply this law? Watch for repetitive behaviors. If someone lies once, they will likely lie again. If they betray others, they will betray you too. Avoid toxic personalities. There are patterns of destructive people, chronic victims, manipulators, and self-destructive types. Identify them early and distance yourself. Look beyond surface impressions. A charming, well-spoken person may have a weak character, while a quiet, reserved individual may be strong and reliable. Test their reactions under stress. True character is revealed in moments of pressure. Observe how people react to setbacks, failure, or criticism. By mastering this law, you can accurately judge people's true nature and avoid dangerous alliances. Law 5. Become an elusive object of desire. The law of covetousness. People desire what they can't have. The more available and accessible something is, the less valuable it seems. If you make yourself too predictable and easy to attain, people will take you for granted. How to apply this law? Cultivate mystery. Don't reveal everything about yourself too quickly. Keep people guessing about your next move. Create scarcity. Sometimes withdrawing your presence increases your perceived value. Learn when to step back and let others crave your attention. Be unpredictable. Avoid being overly predictable in your actions and responses. Introduce elements of surprise to keep people intrigued. Make others work for your attention. When you are too accessible, people stop appreciating you. Let them earn your time and attention. By understanding this law, you become someone people chase rather than someone who chases. Law 6. Elevate your perspective. The law of short-sightedness. Most people think only in the short term, reacting emotionally to events without considering the long-term consequences. This short-sightedness leads to poor decisions, unnecessary stress, and missed opportunities. How to apply this law? Develop a long-term mindset. Before making a decision, ask yourself, how will this impact me in 5 years? 10 years? Control emotional reactions. Impulsive decisions, made in the heat of the moment, often lead to regret. Train yourself to pause and reflect before acting. Learn from history. Recognizing patterns in human behavior helps you anticipate future trends and outcomes. Practice patience. The best rewards come to those who delay gratification and plan ahead. By mastering this law, you gain the ability to see further than others, anticipate consequences, and make superior decisions. Law 7. Soften people's resistance. The law of defensiveness. Humans are naturally defensive. When confronted with new ideas, criticism, or change, most people instinctively resist. If you try to forcefully change someone's opinion or behavior, they will push back even harder. The key to influence is not confrontation, but strategic persuasion. How to apply this law? Never directly challenge people's beliefs. When you tell someone they are wrong, they will cling to their views even more. Instead, subtly guide them toward a new perspective by asking thought-provoking questions. Mirror their emotions and values. People are more receptive to those who reflect their own attitudes and priorities. Speak their language and align your arguments with their worldview. Let them take ownership of the idea. Make people feel that they arrived at the conclusion themselves rather than being told what to do. Use the power of storytelling. Facts and logic often fail to change minds. Instead, frame your points within a compelling story that resonates emotionally. By mastering this law, you will lower resistance, gain influence, and make people more willing to accept your ideas without force or conflict. Law 8. Change your circumstances by changing your attitude. The law of self-sabotage. Many people unknowingly set themselves up for failure through negative attitudes, limiting beliefs, and self-destructive behaviors. Your perception of life shapes your reality. If you believe the world is against you, you will act in ways that reinforce that belief. But if you cultivate a mindset of growth and resilience, you can change your trajectory. How to apply this law? Recognize self-sabotaging patterns. Are you always procrastinating? Do you avoid taking risks due to fear of failure? Identify the unconscious behaviors that hold you back. Reframe negative experiences. Instead of seeing setbacks as proof of failure, view them as learning opportunities that push you toward success. Adopt an expansive mindset. The most successful people see possibilities where others see limitations. Train yourself to focus on solutions instead of obstacles. Surround yourself with growth-oriented individuals. Negative, toxic people reinforce self-sabotage. Choose friends and mentors who challenge and inspire you. By shifting your mindset, you break free from negative cycles and take control of your destiny. Law 9. Confront your dark side. The law of repression. We all have a hidden side, the dark side of our personality, filled with emotions and desires we suppress because they seem unacceptable. However, repressing these aspects doesn't make them disappear. Instead, they emerge in unhealthy ways, such as self-sabotage, passive aggression, or explosive anger. The key to mastery is integrating your shadow side, not denying it. How to apply this law? Acknowledge your suppressed emotions. Do you struggle with jealousy, anger, or insecurity? Instead of pretending these feelings don't exist, analyze their root causes. Channel your dark energy productively. Many great leaders, artists, and athletes harness their aggression and ambition to fuel success rather than letting it consume them. Understand how repression leads to hypocrisy. People who present themselves as overly moral or pure often hide deep contradictions. Be honest with yourself and avoid pretending to be someone you're not. Use self-awareness as a shield. When you accept your flaws, no one can use them against you. Embracing your full self makes you more authentic and powerful. By confronting your dark side, you gain greater control over your actions, prevent destructive behaviors, and use your hidden strengths to your advantage. Law 10. Beware the fragile ego, the law of envy. Envy is one of the most dangerous and hidden emotions. People rarely admit they feel envious, but their actions betray them. Someone who resents your success may disguise their envy as criticism, passive aggression, or subtle sabotage. If you don't recognize these hidden attacks, they can derail your progress. How to apply this law? Identify envious individuals early. Envious people often belittle your achievements, act overly competitive, or give backhanded compliments. Avoid triggering unnecessary envy. Flaunting success can provoke resentment. Instead, remain humble and share credit with others. Use envy strategically. If someone envies you, find a way to include them in your success. Making them feel part of your achievements can neutralize hostility. Control your own envy. Instead of resenting others' success, use it as motivation. Study what they did right and apply those lessons to your own journey. By mastering this law, you protect yourself from envious attacks while turning potential enemies into allies. Law 11. Know your limits. The law of grandiosity. Success can be a double-edged sword. When people achieve something great, they often feel invincible and start taking reckless risks. This is known as grandiosity, a dangerous illusion of unlimited power. History is full of leaders, entrepreneurs, and celebrities who self-destructed because they ignored their limits. How to apply this law? Stay humble even in success. Remind yourself that no one is above failure. The moment you think you can't lose is the moment you become vulnerable. Surround yourself with honest advisors. People often avoid telling successful individuals the truth. Keep people around you who challenge your thinking. Be wary of overexpansion. Many businesses and careers collapse because of overconfidence and overreach. Grow strategically instead of impulsively. Continuously seek self-improvement. Never assume you have arrived. The moment you stop learning, you start declining. By understanding this law, you stay grounded, avoid reckless mistakes, and build long-term success. Law 12. Reconnect to the masculine or feminine within you. The law of gender rigidity. Society often pressures people to conform to rigid gender roles. Men must be dominant and unemotional, while women must be nurturing and passive. However, True power comes from balancing both masculine and feminine qualities within yourself. How to apply this law? Embrace both logic and intuition. Masculine traits, such as assertiveness and strategic thinking, and feminine traits, such as empathy and emotional intelligence, are both valuable. The most effective leaders combine them. Adapt to different situations. Sometimes directness is needed, masculine energy, and sometimes diplomacy is better, feminine energy. Learn when to switch between them. Reject societal expectations. Just because society says men should behave one way and women another doesn't mean you must conform. Find your own balance. Recognize gender projection in others. People often project their insecurities onto others. Understand when someone is treating you unfairly based on gender stereotypes and rise above it. By mastering this law, you break free from limiting beliefs, adapt to any situation, and become a more well-rounded, influential person. Law 13. Advance with a sense of purpose, the law of aimlessness. Many people drift through life without a clear sense of direction. They chase after trends, follow others' expectations, or pursue fleeting pleasures without understanding their deeper purpose. This aimlessness leaves them feeling lost, frustrated, and easily influenced by others. Without a strong internal compass, they become puppets to external forces. How to apply this law? Define your long-term vision. Instead of just thinking about the next step, ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become in 10, 20, or 30 years? Identify your core values. What principles do you refuse to compromise on? Align your actions with these values to create a strong sense of purpose. Avoid distractions and false purposes. Many people waste time chasing money, status, or social validation, thinking it will bring fulfillment. True purpose is internal, not external. Develop daily rituals that reinforce your mission. Small, consistent actions toward your purpose build momentum over time. By mastering this law, you gain a powerful sense of direction, making you unstoppable in achieving your goals. Law 14. Resist the downward pull of the group, the law of conformity. Human beings are naturally tribal. We feel safer when we belong to a group, but this instinct often leads us to blindly follow the herd. Whether it's social trends, political ideologies, or workplace culture, the pressure to conform can be overwhelming. However, true power comes from thinking independently and resisting groupthink. How to apply this law? Observe how groups influence behavior. People in groups often act in ways they never would alone. Be aware of how peer pressure affects your decisions. Stay true to your own logic and beliefs. Just because a large group believes something doesn't mean it's right. Train yourself to evaluate ideas objectively. Avoid getting lost in the emotional energy of the crowd. Mass hysteria, outrage, and excitement can cloud your judgment. Step back and analyze situations rationally. Surround yourself with diverse perspectives. If everyone around you thinks the same way, you may be trapped in an echo chamber. Seek out alternative viewpoints to challenge your thinking. By resisting blind conformity, you become a leader rather than a follower, standing out in a world that desperately needs independent thinkers. Law 15. Make them want to follow you. The law of fickleness. People are naturally fickle. They admire leaders one moment and turn against them the next. Many who rise to power fail to maintain their influence because they don't understand how to balance authority and adaptability. How to apply this law? Establish authority through consistency. People respect those who stand firm in their values and decisions. Avoid being unpredictable or easily swayed by public opinion. Adapt without appearing weak. Change is necessary, but if you change course too often, you appear indecisive and unreliable. Balance flexibility with a strong foundation. Understand the emotional needs of your followers. People follow those who make them feel secure, inspired, and valued. Be a source of stability and motivation. Protect yourself from betrayal. Those closest to you can become your biggest threats. Keep a healthy distance, even from trusted allies, and always stay one step ahead. By mastering this law, you become a leader who commands long-term respect and loyalty. rather than one who rises quickly and falls just as fast. Law 16. See the hostility behind the friendly facade, the law of aggression. People rarely show their true intentions openly. Many mask their hostility with charm, politeness, or passive-aggressiveness. Failing to recognize this hidden aggression can make you vulnerable to manipulation, betrayal, or sabotage. How to apply this law? Look beyond words and observe actions. People may say they support you while secretly undermining you. Pay attention to patterns of behavior over time. Identify passive-aggressive tactics. Some people avoid direct confrontation but express hostility in subtle ways. Sarcastic remarks, delayed responses, or subtle sabotage. Learn to counter aggression strategically. Instead of reacting emotionally, stay calm and outmaneuver your opponent. Use their tactics against them. Control your own aggressive impulses. Unchecked aggression can alienate allies and make enemies. Direct your competitive energy toward constructive goals. By mastering this law, you become skilled at detecting hidden threats and handling conflicts with intelligence rather than emotion. Law 17. Seize the historical moment. The law of generational myopia. Most people fail to recognize the larger historical trends shaping their world. They focus only on their immediate surroundings, unaware that they are part of a much bigger cycle. Those who can see beyond the present moment and understand generational patterns gain a massive advantage. How to apply this law? Study history to recognize repeating patterns. Economic cycles, political shifts, and cultural trends repeat over time. Learning from the past helps you predict the future. Understand generational differences. Each generation has its own priorities, values, and blind spots. Recognizing these differences allows you to adapt your strategy accordingly. Position yourself ahead of the curve. By anticipating trends before they become mainstream, you stay ahead of the competition. Think long-term rather than reacting to short-term events. Instead of chasing fleeting opportunities, invest in lasting trends that will shape the future. By mastering this law, you become a visionary thinker who sees what others overlook, allowing you to navigate change with confidence. Law 18. Meditate on our common mortality, the law of death denial. Most people avoid thinking about death, yet it is the ultimate truth of life. The fear of mortality leads people to waste time, chase meaningless goals, and avoid taking risks. However, those who embrace their finite existence gain a sense of urgency, focus, and deeper appreciation for life. How to apply this law? Accept your mortality as a source of motivation. Knowing that life is short pushes you to stop procrastinating and pursue what truly matters. Live with a sense of purpose and urgency. Ask yourself, if I had only 1 year left, what would I do differently? Start living that way now. Eliminate petty concerns. Most worries, what others think, small failures, daily stresses, become insignificant in the face of mortality. Focus on what truly matters. Create something that outlives you. Whether it's art, knowledge, a legacy, or meaningful relationships, strive to leave a lasting impact beyond your lifetime. By embracing this law, you free yourself from fear, prioritize what truly matters, and live with greater intensity and purpose. Understanding these laws gives you a superpower, the ability to read, influence, and protect yourself from others. Now, the question is, how will you use this knowledge? If you found this video valuable, like, subscribe, and comment below with the law that resonated with you the most. Until next time, stay sharp and stay aware.